All right. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Goins Financial Live. I am your host tonight, Alicia Goins. I'm going to give everybody just a moment to go ahead and hop on. So, it's Financial Literacy Month, and we wanted to bring to you some financially lit things that you can take with you this month, and not only this month, but just to carry with you throughout the rest of 2022, because we want this year to feel good. Okay, so again, welcome to tonight's live broadcast. Okay, so we're going to be doing this every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching the replay, welcome. I'm going to introduce myself in just a moment. But again, if you want to share this information with more individuals, you want to make sure that they go to goinsfinancial.com/register. That way, they're going to get notified every time when you're ready to go live. We're going to talk about that at the end of this, okay? So I don't know if you saw me on TikTok, if you saw me on Instagram, Facebook, somebody referred you here, or you're on our mailing list. Just a sincere thank you and welcome tonight. But tonight, again, we're going to talk about how to write off your dream lifestyle, okay? No matter what it is that you're doing. And I felt this one was relevant because I'm pretty sure that this tax season didn't feel too great for everybody, right? So again, if you're watching a replay, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started because it is 7:01 on the hour, and let's go ahead and get started. So before I get started, I just want to kind of introduce to you who I am. Okay, so my name is Alicia Goins, and I am a fintech intrapreneur. Okay, not intra. Okay, I know that's a new trend, new thing going around, or maybe some of you know what that is. But basically, that just means that I'm doing some fintech inside of fintech. Okay, so I've been in this field for over 7 years, going on 7 years. It's very fulfilling. Really makes me happy to be able to help people, not only with the beginning of their personal finances, but also their business finances, as well as business credit, and even their entrepreneurship journey. Okay, so I've been doing this with my husband as well, been rocking with him for about the same time, 7 years. Okay, and he also has a finance major, so he's taught me quite a lot. Okay, so I was homeless 6 years ago, well, a little bit over, maybe about 6.5 years ago. And my life just completely transformed. Homelessness taught me so much about finances, so much about, emergency funds, credit, and things of that nature, and just restoration. And that's why I got started with this industry. Okay. So looks like we got a couple of people hopping in. So again, welcome everyone. And, I'm from originally Lincolnton, North Carolina, this small city, the courthouse in the middle, one of those towns. But I moved out here on the beautiful east coast of North Carolina, out in Wilmington, North Carolina. Okay. I also am partnered with this amazing company, Nove, out of Conyers, Georgia. But my baby, my pride and joy, is of course Goins Financial. Okay. I'm the chief operating officer of Goins Financial. All right. So again, tonight, I hope you have a notebook. This is not one of those things you want to just listen to. This is something you definitely want to have something to take some notes. And of course, you can always reach out to us. You should see the links and things. When you see the replay, you should see the link up there, down there, wherever it is, probably down there, right? See the link where you can message me. So let's take a moment, regardless if you're watching a replay or not. Let's take a moment, and if you're in the chat room, I kind of want you to just comment, what is it that you do? Even if you're watching the replay, because I pay attention to this, okay? I want you to comment what it is that you do, because one of the things that I said in this is, hey, you're gonna be able to write off your dream lifestyle no matter what it is you do. So I don't think that you necessarily have to have a business. You do in a way, but I'm gonna tell you about that in just a little bit. But what is it that you do? Okay, just take a moment. We're gonna take about 15 seconds and go ahead and write down what you do. All right, so again, I'm going to be paying attention. Let me check the chat room, see if we got anybody in there that is talking about what it is that they do. All right, now let's take a moment and let's talk. We're going to take 60 seconds on this one, because this is what I want you to think about, okay? A lot of times when we're talking about our occupation and things of that nature, we're talking about the dream lifestyle. We basically been groomed to just, go to work and come home, right? We're not really living the lifestyle that we deserve. Some of you may be living the lifestyle you deserve, because I know I got some different audiences watching. I know some of you probably are already entrepreneurs, so you get it, right? Well, this is for a lot of individuals that don't get it, but still at the same time, I want to make sure that you know exactly what your dream lifestyle is, because that definition to everybody is different. So right now, I'm gonna turn my camera off in just a second, but right now we're gonna take about 60 seconds, and I really want you to really think about this, and I want you to think about what it is. Like, so if money was not a worry, what is it you would be doing? What would your lifestyle look like? Where would you be going? Where would you be traveling? Where would you be dressing? What would your appearance look like? Take a moment and write that down. All right. So hopefully you had time to write down what it is that you do, what you want that lifestyle to be. And let's just talk about this for a second. I'm gonna tell you what my dream lifestyle is, right? So I have this thing, like, I want to do family vacations. My sons, they don't want to fly, but I just have this whole vision of flying, just being able to pick up and go wherever we want to, hey, let's go have ice cream in Miami. Like, I think that way, okay? Not having to worry about the bills. Our bills are on auto pay right now. And, one day we're going to talk about that. Actually, my husband kind of talked about that on our last Clubhouse. I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. But, not having to worry about the bills, the debt's being paid. And even if I got to use a credit card when we're traveling, that when I get back home, I'm going to be able to pay it off before the bill cycle. Being able to tithe $1,000, right? Maybe tithe $10,000. Those are the types of things I'm thinking about. Perfect health, perfect mindset, right? Just being able to sit down and read a book whenever I want to read a book and not have to worry about things. These are the types of things I'm thinking about. And of course, an 800 plus credit score, all these different things, an excellent business credit account, right? So we can go out here and do whatever we want to. First class and rewards. That's what I can think about. Those are some of the things that I wrote down when we talk about, your dream lifestyle. Okay. So again, I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, because believe it or not, these things are write-offs. Okay. So let's get into what a tax deduction is. And this is some of the key points that you need to, in order to build wealth. Okay. So, a tax deduction, it lowers your taxable income. Therefore, it is reducing your tax liability and increasing your tax refund. So many people get excited, right, when it's time for tax refund, because they're about to eat this fat refund. Y'all felt it this time, right? I'm saying y'all because we're rolling for the 15th and we still got to file, but that's because we got all these deductions we still got to plug in here, right? I'm gonna tell you how to keep track of those in a second. But so many people get excited because they want a refund. But listen, you should be getting your money up front. We actually do a financial literacy training with our amazing company, Nove. I actually just did it. One of my business partners out of Charlotte, North Carolina, his name is Earl. I actually did that training, and it's called adjustment versus refund. Because listen, we should be taking these things and using the tax deductions so that we're getting paid our money up front. But there's certain qualifications for that. Now, with a tax deduction, you subtract the amount of your tax deduction from your income and makes your taxable income lower. Okay, we're always talking about tax brackets, all right? Now, the lower your taxable income, the lower your bill. Okay, so that's very, very important. I know most of you know that, but maybe you need to know what qualifies you for a tax deduction. Okay, this is what we're talking about, because we're talking about writing off our dream lifestyle. So who qualifies for that? And are you one of them? Now, as an entrepreneur or a home-based business owner, you want to make sure that like I said, that you don't get too excited about, hold on just a second, everybody. Looks like I had somebody trying to get in the waiting room. I'm so sorry. All right, cool. All right, so you got so many people getting excited about that, the tax refund. That's not the way we should go. Okay, like I just said, you want to make sure that you're able to get some write-offs. So as an entrepreneur, a refund shouldn't have you excited. Maybe just a little excited, but again, you want to get your money up front, even if you're working a part-time or a full-time job. Okay, this is something that can go on with you. And I hope that you understand that the pandemic taught us that it's cool to work from home now. A lot of y'all went back to work and you don't like it, right? Or a lot of us went back to work and we didn't like it, right? You can still do this and maximize your everyday expenses, your travel. We're gonna get into that. You can still do that, okay? So you need to do your research and find a way to correctly adjust your W-4. Now we help with that as well. So again, if you want to know more about that, because once you have a home-based business, they can't tax you the same, but you got to tell them, hey, you can't tax me the same. And that's called a W-4 adjustment. If you need more information about that, we do sessions for that. So make sure you reach out to us and just book a session. You can go to goinsfinancial.com /session. I'm laughing and I'm so sorry, but it's I guess it's relevant, right? You don't pay taxes, they take taxes. Okay, so we know that Chris Rock, that's who said this, we know that Chris Rock can take a thing or two because of recent events. Okay, but he's been getting smacked around with taxes. We're gonna let you get smacked around with taxes. Okay, sorry if that offended anybody, but listen, we can't let that happen. Okay, we rule that part. Okay, so we rule the deductions and our expenses and our dream lifestyle to write it off. Okay, so you don't pay them, they do take them, but guess what, there's a way for you to put that money back in your pocket and not leave any money on the table. Okay, so let's talk about some common write-offs. This is where you want to kind of take some notes. So I got people texting me, I can't find the session. All right, let me get my husband to help here. All right, guys, I apologize. I got people texting me. I was wondering what was going on. All right. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some common write-offs. Okay. This is where I'm going to get kind of in depth, and maybe your gears will start turning here, because there's like over 450 deductions, and I think the list grows every day. Okay. So let's talk about some daily expenses. Now, whether you have a traditional business or whether you have a home-based business, these are the types of things that you can write off on a daily. Now, business meals. Now, let me go ahead and put a disclaimer out. If you have a spouse, your meals don't count. Okay. I'm sorry, but those meals don't count, unfortunately, unless you go 50 miles outside of your home. Now, you go 50 miles outside of your home, then yeah, you're writing it off. Okay, but just make sure to say something to the waitress, to somebody in the restaurant, or somebody outside somewhere about your business. Have some integrity. Okay, just don't be out here eating, talking about it's a write-off, and you don't do that. So I'm guilty of that sometimes. So I try to not do that, but you want to have some integrity. Okay. So again, business meals. Now, let's say you go to a conference. Let's say, you have a business meeting with a partner or a client or a customer. You're doing those types of things. And hey, you're talking business, or you're at a coffee shop. That now becomes a write-off. You need to be writing these things down. Snap a picture. Always snap a picture, because receipts fade. And another instance is, say you're out and you're just out for leisure, but for some reason, it turns into a conversation about your business. You just qualified this to become a write-off. Okay. Business use of your car. Now, with this one, it's going to be one or the other. Okay. Now, if you have a newer model car, you want to make sure that you're writing off the mileage. But if you have an older model car and you're having to do a lot of repairs, it's better for you just to go ahead and write off your actual gas receipts and your car repairs. You can't do both. Okay. So you got to do one or the other. All right. Also, travel expenses. Now, this is where it gets fun. Okay. This is what I mean by writing off your dream lifestyle. So if you wrote down that you want to travel, then guess what? You need to be talking about business when you go travel. Okay. Of course, you want to make some money while you're traveling and make some of the money back, right? Don't just go out here, and be traveling. Find a way to make at least a little bit of it back. I know you're going out here to be on vacation, and to relax and have fun, but mention a little bit of business to make this a write-off. Okay. So we're talking about flights. We're talking about the rental car. We're talking about, again, the mileage or either the gas receipts. We're talking about lodging, the meals that you have while you're out, any expenses that you're spending while you are gone. These things are a write-off. Okay. If you're going to seminars and things like that, any of the supplies you got to get, even your business attire becomes a write-off. Let's see what else. Anything that you do within the hotel, any of their conference things you buy for the conference, things of that nature, all of those become travel of expenses that you can write off. Okay. So cellular phone usage. Now, a lot of us, you know, we are using our cellular phone for business. So guess what? You get to write anywhere from 50 to 100%. Now, typically we tell people to write anywhere from 50 to 80% off because you're not using your phone 100% of the time for business. Now, if you have a separate business line, like a separate phone line, then yes, that's 100%, right? But if you're not, and you're still, you know, you're talking to your spouse, your children, or your mom, dad, whatever, you know, best friends, you can't write all of that off. So just figure out what percentage is business on your phone, and then you can write that off, okay? Typically, if you have a home-based business, you're using your cell phone anyway. So, hey, if you got Verizon, sorry. You got Verizon, you need to make sure that you're writing down this and writing some of the bill off, okay? I don't know about everybody else out there, but I know that some of them need to be written off, okay? So let's talk about home and office expenses. This is very, very important, especially if you have a home-based business, because, hey, if you have your own home office, guess what? That home, that rent, that storage space, or that little space that you're in within your home, you do the measurements, you're able to write so much of that square footage off on your taxes. Hey, if you got to rent things, like maybe you have an inventory, a she shed, he shed, man cave, maybe you have a virtual office that you go to, or anything like that, you're going to be able to write that off as well, okay? Your rent and office space, okay? Legal and professional fees. This is a big one because typically those are very, very costly. You're going to be able to write those off as well. Again, we just talked about the cell phone, same thing with internet, home phone. Now with the internet, we typically tell everybody to write that off 100% because the time we're living in, we're not on, you know, on here shopping and doing all this crazy stuff. Typically, if we're on the internet, we are marketing, setting up campaigns, talking to people, emailing. Write that bill off, okay? Security. Did you know that service dogs or security dogs are pets, right? Become write-offs because they are security, okay? So some of these expenses that occur with your pets become write-offs. Office supplies. I have way too many office supplies in here because I love saying that word. It's a write-off. Listen, it's a write-off, okay? Make sure, I don't care if it's a pencil or a sticky note. Listen, you're able to write all of these things off, okay? Let's talk about some other expenses. Advertising and promotion. We just talked about marketing. You know, sometimes you got to pay for a social media manager or some type of app or something, or you got to pay these subscriptions to make your TikTok videos or your blogs, right? Blogs is a thing right now. Or you got to pay, you know, your hosting for your website so you can do your blogs. All these different things and on these marketing tools and things that you need to be able to market and advertise your business, they're write-offs, okay? Business insurance, of course, cell phone again, there it pops up again. Business banking fees for your business account, those are write-offs. Anything for education, we talked about conferences already, but anything that you're doing for personal growth and self-development, anything that is furthering your field or your industry is a write-off. Salaries and commissions, meaning, you know, when you're paying your employees, it becomes a write-off. You can even hire your children. I'm probably need to do a specialized one on that one because that one's kind of fun, okay? Hire your children, have them lick the stamps, maybe not lick the stamps now, but have them use a sponge, okay? Let's just change that. Do some filing for you, help you rake the leaves, help you clean the office, help you reorganize, you know, help you go through that box of receipts or that file folder receipts. Give them something to do, right? Organize papers, pay them, and write that expense off. And again, as you can see down there again, legal fees are down there, okay? So let's, we're gonna get interactive again, whether you're in the chat room or you're watching the replay, again, I pay attention, okay? Or you can jot these down yourself, it doesn't matter. But let's just talk about some common deductions by industry. So I don't know if you can see everything that's up here, but it looks like we got a photographer, we got a makeup artist, maybe we got an independent contractor there, a barber, we got someone that is a speaker. We got a consultant there. Looks like we got a blogger or a social media influencer down at the bottom. Somebody doing nails, somebody sewing, Lyft and Uber. All right, think about what you do and drop some common deductions that you think we have in the comments. While you're doing that, I'm gonna help you just a little bit because so when we talk about photographers, everything you do is a write-off, okay? So if you're on here or you're watching the replay and you are a photographer, everything you do is a write-off. You know, even your makeup, even your outfits, your bags, your film, your lights, everything, especially your mileage, so you can rack up if you are a photographer. Yep, that's right. So in the comments, we got gas, computers, office equipment, mileage. All right. So if you're a speaker, a lot of times you're getting paid to go to these different places and speak. So again, travel, your lodging, all these different things, your outfits, whatever you need to kind of, maybe your Toastmasters membership, all these different things you're going to be able to write off. Consultants, again, as you can see here, she's got a portfolio, she's dressed nice, all these things are write-offs for her. We got a social media influencer down here in the bottom. I guess her coffee became a write-off because listen, she's snapping a selfie. I'm pretty sure it went on Instagram or somewhere, right? So those type of things that help her market. We got somebody to comment saying, petted my pedicures, my feet be hurting. Hey, we can figure out a way. Maybe we can sneak it under help. Okay. I got to be careful with that because it's going to be broadcasted live, but hey, it is what it is, right? But again, if it's anything that you use for marketing, a lot of times when we talk about nails and hair, makeup and things like that, if you're, using that to market, say you're about to go into a photo shoot, then most definitely those things will become write-offs. Okay. So again, down here, she's probably got some tools down here that she's using for her marketing. That's going to be a write-off. When we talk about, this lady down here and she's sewing everything she needs as far as her, her business is concerned, even if you have a boutique, those things become write-offs. And then when we talk about Uber and Lyft drivers, of course, it goes back to gas mileage, either gas, if they are, the repairs, if they have a older car. Okay. So again, just think about those things and what it takes for you to run your business, and these things will be write-off. So I know one lady on here, she owns a Rebecca Charcuterie Board. So shout out to her. If you're in the Wilmington area, you want to make sure to check her out. So Rebecca, we may have to have just like a one-on-one, because lady, everything you do is a write-off. Okay. Your boards, the cheese, the charcuterie, the mileage, all these different things, all the tools that you have to use, your tablecloths, anything you need to set up, the props, all those things are write-offs, and you'll rack up pretty quick. Okay. So again, you want to make sure that you start to write those things out. So again, we'll have one-on-one session. We're going to talk soon. And there's my husband being corny in the comments, but thank you. So let's talk about how we track the deductions. Okay. I didn't put this in here, but we actually just had a trip, a business trip. We went down to our corporate office to do some work. And I love those. It's a write-off weekends. Okay. It turned into it's a write-off week. So I can just imagine. I think the last time I looked at it, it was about $682. That was just mileage. And that wasn't even meals, what we bought when we were down there, the stops, any other odds and ends that I needed to get. All those aren't even included yet. Okay. So again, lodging's not in there yet. So we got an Airbnb one night. But those things aren't in there yet. But again, we got to stop leaving our hard-earned money on the table. And as entrepreneurs, whether it's home-based or traditional, that's exactly what we're doing, because we get so busy, and it's great to be booked and busy and be blessed, right? That is a blessing. But what we do is we leave those things on the table because we get so busy and we get so exhausted, and then we don't document it, and then we forget. And then when it's time to remember, we can't remember. We're digging through our bank statements, and that's a whole nother headache. It's so easy to just document these things as you go. Now, yes, will it take some discipline? Absolutely. It still takes discipline to use the app to put these things in there, but it's better to be like, oh, I just spent some money. Let me do this now before I even pull out the parking lot, versus let me go run here, finish this real quick. And I'm gonna remember tonight. I've set myself up for that so many times. So we have this really neat tool. It's called Hurdler. It used to be TaxBot, but they merged with another company. And, I was playing with it the other day, and I was like, you know what? I actually like this. I'm a very clean cut person, very analytical person, and I like clean stuff. And as you can see, it's very clean. You can, even connect this to your bank account, right? Especially your business account. And, you can tell it, typically I leave it on, but that's where discipline comes into play too, because you got to make sure that you tell it if it's a personal expense or if it's a business expense. Okay. But we shouldn't be mixing personal and business anyway, but hey, it happens. All right. But you just got to be a little bit disciplined there. So again, it's got automatic mileage tracking. It does your expenses for you off your smartphone with your GPS. And then it does automatic expense tracking as well. So it'll read your receipts. If you hook it up and you do that, you sync it, if anything happens where you make a purchase online, it picks it up, it can tell, and it'd be like, hey, is this personal or this business? You swipe left for personal and right to the business, okay? And it keeps these receipts for you. So at the end of the year, when you get ready to give this to your accountant, or you give this to your bookkeeper, or if you're doing it yourself, you have these things so you're audit safe, okay? That's the next one. So it's focused on IRS and CRA compliant. So therefore, this isn't one of those things, one of those random acts. This thing has been approved, okay? And it gives you peace of mind in 12 minutes, okay? So you can spend 12 minutes per month approving expenses and mileage. I did a screen recording of how easy it is. I tap it, I tap where it goes to, I tap the expense, is business, then I tap what it's for, who the client was for, who the business was for, and then boom, I'm done. And I'm just going through those things, okay? So again, you wanna make sure that if you need something like that, reach out to us. It's very, very affordable. We have $100 per year that you can get it for, or you can just pay $10 a month. Or you can go to goingsfinancial.com/taxspot. All right, so we're about to do our Q&A live portion. Again, you're going to get this replay. If you came in a little late, it's cool. We're going to send you this replay back out, but this is a Q&A section. So if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. If you're watching a replay, still drop them in the comments or click the link and, you know, ask me for a session and we can do some one-on-one. But I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to drop it in the comments if you have any questions. And again, while we're waiting on those questions, I just want to thank everybody for tapping in. We got, again, a whole lineup this month of some amazing content. So don't just, you know, be on here yourself. Make sure to share this information with someone, share with the entrepreneur, and we'll be able to help you with that. And if you need a way to have a home-based business, talk to me, because guess what? Everyone needs help with their finances, and that is exactly what we do. So you can partner with us, and now you're officially a business owner, and you're going to be able to utilize this. Yes, so we had a question, is the app friendly with any bank? As far as I know, it is, as long as it's one of these big business banks or something that's kind of, that has, you know, more branches, yes. Now, if it's kind of a local bank, sometimes our credit unions don't pick up there, but there is a way that you can actually manually put it in there. So great question. All right, so again, that is it for our Q&A session. So again, I want to tell you what's coming up. We got some more sessions coming, and we do them every Wednesday on Clubhouse and every Thursday here on Zoom. You're going to hear from my husband soon on Zoom as well. But on Wednesday, we're actually going to be talking about female women empowerment. Now, we know that last month was Women's History Month. We're focusing on some phenomenal women with our amazing company, Nove. But we're going to talk about, you know, basically just female women's empowerment when it comes to finances, because we know sometimes we don't get the money that we're supposed to be paid. We do a lot, and it's kind of hard for us to, I guess we're competing with men. I hate to say it that way, but it is. You know, just recently, I think in the 1970s is when, don't get my quotes wrong, but my statistics wrong, but I think that's when we were actually able to build credit. It might have been sooner than that. I'll look at the statistic and we're going to talk about it on Clubhouse. So if you have your own Clubhouse, invite some people, especially some females, so we can get in here and we can have some girl talk about, you know, just female and finances, okay? And then we'll be back right here on the 15th, next Friday at 7 p.m. We're going to talk about how to build business credit. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more intense, not as easy, but it's going to be a lot of notes you're going to be able to take. I even got a freebie to give you at the end of the webinar. So again, to help you build, but how to build business credit and get funding. Not 6, 7, y'all. I know you'll get a flyer. I'm going to fix it. But 7 p.m. right here. So again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share this with somebody. YouTube, if you have not, or Facebook, where I'm about to rebroadcast this, if you have not, subscribe so that you know when we're going live next and what we're talking about. Make sure to go to goingsfinancial.com/register. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.